What are the signs of evolved consciousness? Like in Ayurveda, a patient is checked by observing, by feeling, and by testing. Similarly, the level of consciousness can also be judged by all these three means. First is by observation. Observation, if one feels fulfilled, contained, inspired, and fulfilled in one's company without any interaction, without any exchange of words, without communicating anything. This is the first sign that the person whom you are interacting with is having very evolved consciousness. Second is by interacting. When someone interacts with something, second is interacting. In interaction, if interaction goes very thorough, compound, holistic, and flawless, then this is the second sign that you are dealing with a very good and evolved consciousness. And third is testing. Testing means there is one very good phrase in English that scratch the skin, find the truth. You just scratch the skin and find the truth. So this is the another way of testing evolved consciousness, that something, if it scratches you, it touches this ego, or there is something which is matter of disagreeing, then how one interacts, how one responds, the response of a person, the way of responding, the words used in responding, and the method and tone and culture and responding. It simply tells the consciousness how evolved the consciousness is. There is a beautiful story that someone was sitting on the crossing road and 3 persons crossed the road. One was a king, one was a minister, and one was a servant. When a person asked the person who was sitting on the crossing road that, have you seen somebody passing through this road? That the person responded, yes. One was a servant, another was a minister, and one was the king. And the person was blind. So the person who inquired, he was surprised that you can't see. How can you tell? Then the person who was blind, he responded that simply the way they asked me to tell where this road goes. The way they asked me, it simply tells what they are. One was very rash, not cultured language, so he was obviously a servant. Second was very calculative, little bit cultured, wise, so he was a minister. And the third one, he was very compassionate, very loving, very caring, very compound. So he was, of course, a king, because he had the feeling, compassion to look after the subject, to take care of the subject. That's why he was a sound king. The love, the affection, the feeling which was flowing through him, it simply conveyed that how compound, compassion, parent-like, loving he is. That simply showed that he is a king. So the way we interact, the way we communicate, the way our presence is felt by our surrounding, that is the language of evolved consciousness. When in Vedic science there are beautiful things, beautiful things. One, there are lakshan of guru. There are many signals, signs that how a guru is. One guru who is very contained, compound, and very good, nourishing. The first quality of a guru, very good guru, is it says that there must be something peculiar, compound in the language, in the speech of the guru. The speech of guru is something wonderful. Once Gurudev, Shankaracharya of Jyotishpit, Swami Brahmanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj, he told a beautiful story. There are so many mothers, so many types of mother. Like in human beings, mother embraces, mother loves, mother hugs. But what a fish does, fish can't embrace, fish can't hold you. So the beautiful thing what Gurudev said, that a fish, the area the fish sees, all those areas where up to which fish can see, all the kids of that fish who are moving around that mother fish, the mother fish nourishes just by seeing where, whatever is the boundary of that mother fish, where she can see. All those kids of that mother fish who are just swimming around mother. So the area where mother fish can see, she nourishes just by seeing that. Just by seeing that, every small fish, kid fish, is taken care of, protected, nourished. So this is something beautiful. just by the presence, by seeing the Guru, just by the presence of a Guru, where up to where a Guru can see, that is the area one feels protected, one feels that somebody is being taken care of beautifully. So these are things one should take care of very beautifully. And one can judge, one can feel, one can evaluate what type of consciousness one is around with. And that is very necessary to evolve the consciousness. If संगत से गुण होत है, संगत से गुण जाए, the company, what type of company you have around you, that has a great, great role in your development. That is very important, because whatever good consciousness you have, if you don't have right people around you, it is always going to be polluted. So whatever strength one has, it is going to be diluted. And all energy will be exhausted in just neutralizing that. So why to waste that energy? Because if somebody is sleeping, you can wake him up. But somebody is pretending to sleep, you can't wake him up. So something which is done knowingly, you can't rectify that. So only your energy will be exhausted in that. So just don't waste energy in these types of tendencies. So one who is interested in development of consciousness should take care of. So that's why there are so many very good sutras, mantras in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It says there is one sutra how to prevent your consciousness from. So, Vedic science is something beautiful. So it says like tortoise just shrinks the body from surrounding. So one should take care of all the consciousness. One should withdraw the consciousness from these types of tendencies, and one should swastha. Swa means self, stha means established. One should take care of that consciousness, that his or her consciousness is established in her own self. Whatever quality you have, whatever original qualities you have, if you live with that, then you become swastha. You retain yourself swastha. Swastha means, swa means self, stha means established. So the person who is established in his own self means in absolute totality of the quality of the self. Then one lives the totality, one dwells the totality, one dwells in the totality. So one lives the totality. So one lives a very contained, complete, compound life. So that is the secret to keep you swastha. Because in Kali Yuga, there are few things you can't avoid around you. So just if you are having those things around you, so there is a beautiful saying in Vedic science that like a drop lives on the lotus leaf. It is very much there, but it neither wets the leaf nor the drop is de-shaped. It is very intact like pearl on lotus leaf. So that is the secret to live life intact in this Kali Yuga, in this physical world, to keep your consciousness pure, intact and evolve. If you want to evolve, then that is something very important to take care of. How to not get affected by the surroundings, because there are so many tendencies around you. Some are intentional, some are non-intentional, some are naturally like that, some are naturally good, some are naturally not that type. So one has to take care of it, because there are variety means nature. Nature has so many varieties. You can't transform everybody, so just take care of it. So one who want to live life as a swasth person, so that is simply, Vedic science tells that is the mantra. Every word is mantra in Vedic science. Swastha, swastha. Swa means self, stha means established. So just be established in your own self. Yogastha Guru Karmani. Yogastha means just be in alliance with that. Establish yourself in that self. Yogastha. And that is the yoga. That is the yoga. Your small self, individual self, is established in alliance with that great totality, great universal unity consciousness, and that is the yogastha, being in alliance with that totality, and that makes the person swastha. So that individual consciousness expands to the infinity, that unity consciousness, so that swastha becomes eternal. It becomes grander swastha. Then one starts not living life of that small body. Then one starts living the life of that totality, that Virat Swarup of Bhagavan Vishnu, the person who takes care of sustaining the universe. So one's consciousness expands to that level. So the person himself is nourished, and because he or she is yogastha with that totality, so then the capability becomes that not only he or she is nourished, but because a person is yogastha with that totality, then that capacity evolves naturally, that this individual consciousness becomes overflowing and nourishing others also. So whomsoever comes in contact with these types of consciousness gets fulfilled, inspired, happy, becomes in bliss. So that is the signs, signals and symptoms of the person who is having evolved consciousness. So whatever fragrance you have, anybody who comes in your contact becomes, with very good fragrances, with very good feeling, with very good consciousness, happy, healthy, smiling, content consciousness. So these are something beautiful. One should take care of it to live life, because there is a very great Nobel Prize winner, scientist, doctor. He says that when doctors refused some patients, that now it is incurable, it can't be cured, this disease can't be cured, then prayer did miracles. Miracle is not right word, because it is not mysterious. Miracle simply means that we don't understand the science and technology, why it happened, because our consciousness or our knowledge is not dealing with those processes. When we are exposed with those processes, then we'll understand why it happens, then we won't call it miracle. So the Nobel Prize winner said that when some patients were refused, when they were declared that they can't be cured, then prayer did miracle and they became all right. It means prayer is what? Prayer is just aligning your consciousness with that totality which is running the universe. So because that is abstract, that is non-matter, that is purity only, without any quality, but having potential of all qualities. Like Einstein said, E is equal to mc square, and energy can be transformed to matter, matter can be transformed to energy. So when prayer goes in that totality, then it materializes in the form of chemical, matter, or whatever deficiency in the body. So it transforms that prayer, that pure consciousness, that pure energy, transforms in that matter of medicine or chemical or hormone or enzyme which is required in the body. So that pure totality transforms into the matter which is required in the body. So that is the power of prayer. That is the power of pure consciousness. That pure consciousness which is running the universe, which is the source and goal of universe, which is the purity wherefrom everything emerges. And that is the goal of all manifested value, where everything merges to. So that is the quality of consciousness. It can create anything, anything can emerge out of it, and everything merges into it. So if we understand the consciousness, we understand everything of physical level, mental level, spiritual level, social level, economical level, financial level, whatever we think of, everything is possible in that level of consciousness. And now, in modern science, that quantum is the word for that, quantum mechanical theory. The quantum is the minutest of the minute level, right? So, but consciousness is not minutest of the minutest. It is nothingness, but having the potential of everythingness, because everything emerges out of that and merges in that. The science of consciousness, science of Vedic science and technology, is the knowledge of this totality, this total circle. Everything emerges out of nothing, evolves to its fullest, and then merges to the nothingness. This whole circle is the field of study of science and technology of consciousness. So it starts with the Trigunu Shavda, Nistrigunu Bhavarjun, then Yogastra Karmani, then where to become Yogastra? That is Shivam Shantam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyanti Sa Atma Savikya. Then what happens? Maya Dhyakshe Prakriti Suyati Sacharacharam. So this is Lay and Pralay. This is emerging and merging to that totality. This whole circle is the field of a study of science and technology of consciousness. So that's why one should take care of consciousness very, very carefully. What type of consciousness one should be around with, one should interact with, one should evolve within. So whatever consciousness you have, that is also your company. So one should take care of inner consciousness, quality of inner consciousness, how inner consciousness behaves. One should take care of very, very carefully of that, because that is your companion all the time. Nobody outside can affect you. only your inner consciousness, that is the reason which affects you. If you have a good shield, if you are swastha, if you are established in your own self, then nothing can touch you. So, one should take care of his or her own consciousness, because that is the permanent companion. That is with you and that will go with you. That pure consciousness is you. Like an Upanishad explains what the soul is. If your hand? No. If you are hand, then why can't it work when you leave the body, when soul leaves the body? Are you eyes? If you can see, then when souls goes away, why can't eyes see? So it says that you are not hand. You are hand of the hands. You are eyes of the eyes. It means you are the sensor who senses the senses. So that is the pure consciousness. That is something important one should take care of. And that is the best company you have with you, because you are your company who is going to be with you all the time. Not only here in 8400,000 yonis, and after that also. So one should take care of that company, that consciousness, what type of consciousness you should interact with. Permit to be with, permit to be in your surrounding, or you should withdraw your consciousness, whatever is around you, like tortoise in Vedic science. There are beautiful examples, like tortoise. Tortoise simply takes all the limbs within that, covers within that shell of, So similarly, just take care of your consciousness, whatever is around you, but you keep your consciousness intact. Let it be swastha, let it be established in the swa, self, and that is the ultimate. That makes you yogastha, that makes you keep intact, that keeps you in alliance with that totality. So that alignment totality in you, so one starts dwelling as a totality all the time. So that is the ultimate goal of life, to be totality. Yeah? That is the moksha, that is the enlightenment, that is the ultimate goal of life, to become totality, to stop being in the level of partial life, so that you take birth again and again and again, to expand it. Why to just go beyond all these limitations, beyond all these small dimensions, to just go to the fullest, go to the infinity. And how to be with the infinity? Become infinity by being with the infinity. Janat tumhe hoi jai. Just knowing thyself, one becomes thyself. Just being in alliance with that totality, one becomes totality. So that is the ultimate goal of life one should take care of. So that is the play of consciousness one should be very well aware of all the time, to live life to its fullest, so that one lives the totality, and whomsoever comes around lives totality. Totality is lived, totality is shared, and totality is enjoyed by everybody, by that self, by surrounding of that self, whomsoever one interacting with. So that is the ultimate goal of life, to become totality. One should be aware of that. So just by being conscious of that, that is the only remedy. That is the only remedy to have the consciousness, to have the awareness of that. That consciousness, being conscious of that consciousness takes you to the fullest level of consciousness. That is something beautiful. Huh?